Hey everyone, here's another update. We'll do 44% battery power and 6:28 p.m. Alright, so I've got some info to pass on to you in a minute. But let's go to the update. I couldn't even find anything on the internet about this update, which is no surprise. I mean, it's just a nightmare sometimes to find good info. So I'm just going to ramble around like I usually do. So what I do want to say is that latest news, and this is official news, the Blackberry Priv and the AT&T phones will not be getting the Nougat or the Oreo updates. BlackBerry's position is that a phone should get, at the most, 2 software updates, and this came out with Lollipop and then went to Marshmallow. So the official word, this is definitely official. Wow, that what took like a minute and a half to do this download, so this is probably just a very quick security update, and that's why I can't find any info. So, but at least you're getting some information. It's going to reboot in 2 seconds. So the Oreo and the Nougat, not happening. This is it. This is totally it. This is as far as BlackBerry is going to go with this phone. They will continue to do the security updates, but there is no word, no official word on how long that's going to continue for. So as far as the Priv, this is it. I was reading, I think the phone is Key 1, the Keystone, I don't know what it is. I should know. I really should know before I ramble on like this. So let me go and find out what the heck this phone is called. The Key what? The Key 1. Okay, so the Key 1 supposedly is a much better phone than the Priv. It's supposed to be built much better quality, firmer, more solid, and with this you have the slide-out keyboard, and supposedly with the Key 1, the keyboard takes up a little section at the bottom of the phone and it doesn't slide out like on the Priv. I bought this phone because originally I had a Bold 9900 and I love the keyboard and I wanted to have the BlackBerry keyboard. I thought it was really important to me, and that was the big thing for me. I did not want to buy, I would never buy an Apple product, but I didn't want to buy a phone that didn't have the slide-out keyboard, and that meant BlackBerry. And I will admit, I probably use the keyboard maybe 1% of the time, if that much. So if I was to buy another BlackBerry phone, I really wouldn't care if I had the keyboard or not. When I had the Bold 9900, I lived for the keyboard. That was really important to me. And now that I've got this, I would say maybe 25% of the time I use the speech thing, and I just speak in there and I let it do the autocorrects as best as it can, and then I fix up the message. So a lot of times I will strictly use speech. Sometimes when I have a problem or I have to do an edit, I'll go in there with the keyboard if I can't edit with the speech or get the cursor to go where I want. As far as the rest of the time when I'm doing text messages, a lot of times I just use voice, but if I don't use voice, then I tap out on the keyboard because the, what do they call it? I can't remember the word they use where it remembers what the intuitive thing. It's able to pick up the words. It's able to figure out most of the words that I'm going to say, and it's just, it's not that inconvenient. When I'm on there, I don't use 2 thumbs like a lot of people do to send text messages or type in there. I don't want to have, I don't know what the word is, thumb, it's not carpal tunnel of the thumb, but I don't want to have problems with my thumbs or with the thumb or the thumb joint or hand problems by strictly using the thumb or overusing the thumbs. So I only type usually with the forefinger, and I let the intuitive thing figure out most of what I need to do. And sometimes I'll switch back and forth between voice and typing with the forefinger, or the thumb, occasionally. So if I was to buy another BlackBerry, and I like BlackBerries, God, to imagine the amount of money I spent, I think this phone came out at like $600–700, and I said, that's crazy, I would never spend that amount of money. And when I was able to buy it from BlackBerry on sale for their holiday sale, I think they dropped it $150 and I bought it. And when I look back on that, I think, whoa, that was a lot of money. And I know they've lowered the price since then a couple times. But I got the special, what did I get? I got some type of stand, some charging stand that I've never used. And I got a case that, I bought a few other cases online because the case doesn't last forever. But most of the stuff that I got in the special deal with $150, I never used all of that. I never used any of that stuff. Didn't use the mic. I don't use the earpiece or the mouthpiece or whatever the heck it is, or the charging stand. So next time, when I buy a phone, who knows when that will be, at least I'll know. I don't really need to worry about the keyboard. The key one would be fine for me. But this phone's doing really well. It's holding up well. I have a question for you people out there. A lot of times, I have the screensaver, so it kicks in after a couple minutes. And a lot of times when I get a phone call and I'll go to do the thumb slide and it locks up. I do the thumb slide across the screen to the right and maybe I'll see the red or I'll see the green, but it won't let me slide. It won't let me do a complete slide, and then the screen goes black. And if I hit the power button, it goes like nothing. If I tap it, it still stays black, and then I might have to tap my finger on the screen a bunch of times, and then it comes back. Anybody have a problem like that? I don't know what causes that. I don't know if it's the timeout thing of the screensaver, or because I have to punch in a 4-digit passcode after that. So if anybody's got a problem like that, let me know in the message. In fact, anybody, not a lot of people watch these videos anymore because I ramble and bore the hell out of everybody. And with updates slowing down, nobody's going to watch any of this stuff. But if you have any problems with your Priv, let me know. If you have one of the key ones, post some messages on here. Let us know what you think of it. If you had the Priv and then went to the key one, let us know what the differences between the two and what you think about them, which one you like better and why, and if the upgrade is worth it, if we should switch over. As far as the key one, the official word is that it will not get nougat, but it will get Oreo. Of the Android phones out there, only 1/3 of them went over to nougat, which is nothing. And that's not surprising. A lot of these phones now, they just don't upgrade. The nice thing about Blackberry is that they did upgrade the software, or they do upgrade it and they update the OS. But it seems like the official thing now is going to be only 2 upgrades max as far as the OS. So the key one is going to get Oreo and not nougat, because only, like I said, 1/3 of the phones out there, 1/3 of the Androids have nougat only, and that's just how it's going to stay. And I'm sure a lot of those, well, you can't say they're Blackberry Privs because they're not going to get it. And a lot of the major carriers do not like to do their upgrades, the updates. So hold on, let me do the passcode. Alrighty, we're starting up. So that went from 28, 38, 9 minutes to get to this point. Because like I said, it's a really small update. Probably just a couple security fixes. What else is there to say? Not much is going on. Last time I reported, I rescued a dog 3 months ago. And she is pretty much my whole life right now. She was a rescue in shelters for a lot of her life, a surrender. And what's going on? Has a little skin condition that the vets are trying to figure out what's going on. She's on an alligator-only diet. Alligator kibble, alligator canned food, alligator treats. A 7-ounce bag of treats, $20. A 20-pound bag of kibble, $70 plus shipping. This stuff, it's expensive. I love this dog. Money is no object as far as what I need to do to take care of her. I'm glad that people are watching these videos because YouTube is helping me out. Most of what I make is a YouTube person out here. That's all going to the dog now. The training, $300 in training so far. $350 for the first dermatology appointment with the vet, $250 for food, beds, toys, vet appointments. 3 months, I'd say I'm easily $2,500 in. And she needs this stuff. After we figure out, after this food diet, we're going to find out probably that she does not have a food allergy, but they want to clear out her gut. 2 months of alligator food. She can't stand it. She goes for a whole day not eating, and then she's so hungry that she'll gobble it down. So that's what's going on with my life right now as far as exercise. I'm still holding the weight. I put on, I think, a pound or a pound and a half, 2 pounds maybe. Eating more junk than I should be, so I'm going to get back into avoiding all the garbage that I avoided before I got the dog. Spending a lot of time with my mom. My mom watches the dog so that I have a few minutes to go out and do food shopping. So I'm over there and eating junk, spaghetti, eclairs, ice cream, and things I shouldn't be eating. So the workout stuff is kind of slacked off for a little while, but I'm going to get back into it. But it's going to have to be indoors because I still can't leave the dog alone. She's just not ready for that. Not at all. I know dogs can handle it. She lived in a shelter, in a cage, all day long for months, but she's not ready to deal with me walking out alone. Or maybe I'm not ready to deal with it. So as far as the workout, I'm holding the weight fairly well, watching as best I can when I'm eating. I just bought some spinach, so I'm going to try to do some spinach smoothies for the next few days and get myself back where I should be. Doing a ton of videos. If you go and check my channel, I've posted a lot of videos for the dog supplies that I bought or that I got to take care of her. And I don't know what else to say. We're 40 modules this time. Remember how I always talk about sometimes it used to be 43, then it went down to like 36, 37, 38. So we're back up to 40. And we are at 28, 38, 39, 40, 41. So we're at 13 minutes so far with this thing, just doing the modules, and it's slow. Considering the download, they must really be doing a lot with this OS because the update process is taking a long time like it usually does when it's a huge update. I should have looked down at the bottom. I didn't, at how big the file was. But I'm sure somebody's going to leave a comment about how many megs it was. Probably like a meg or a couple megs at the most. The download was quick. What else is there to say? End of the year, we're dealing with daylight savings time soon. And, when my dad died, he had cancer, and it was towards this part of the year when, I think it was somewhere around October. Well, yeah, because it was about this time of the year when the doctor, we thought things were going to be okay, or he would be able to go on into the next year. And somewhere around October, the doctor said, this is it. He's not going to make it through the year, which he didn't. He didn't make it through December, right on the holiday. And that was a weird time because when he passed and he went to the mortuary, and all their people were on holiday. They were all out of town. There was nobody there to take care of the procedure. And luckily they were able to get somebody in there on that holiday day to take care of everything. So that was a rough time in my life, and the end of the year is always a rough time for me. Not rough like a lot of other people. I know a lot of people, they fall apart at the anniversary date of when somebody's gone. With me, there's two ways that you deal with that stuff. You either don't deal with it and it comes back to haunt you emotionally at a really bad time in your life, or you deal with it for a long time and then you're able to accept it later on down the line and you don't have as many problems as those that didn't deal with it. So it's still a pretty rough time. His birthday just passed by, and not emotionally as bad as it used to be when it had happened and things were really ripe for me. But it's an emotional time. And then the end of the year, that's a rough time. I remember when I was working and we didn't know what was going on, when it was going to happen, and I told my mom, I said, I don't want to be there when this happens. I do not want to be there. and I didn't know that my sisters were over at the house, and I just told them, I said, after he's gone, let me know. But do not, if I'm at work, do not call me, because I don't want to be at work when I hear this. So he passed in the middle of the night, and they waited till they knew I would be awake to go to work. And my mom called up and said, he's gone. And I just stood there, and it felt like the whole world fell apart and everything dropped, and I thought I was going to fall over and pass out. And where are we at? Not even half done. And so I called into work, and hopped in the shower feeling like everything had just changed in my life, and I didn't know how to deal with any of it. Got dressed and went over to the house, and my mom was gone and my sisters were gone. So, and I remember walking into his bedroom, and as I walked in the bedroom, I just saw like a white shadow, a white outline looking down on me from the ceiling, and it was my dad, and he just said, it's going to be okay, Ronald, it's going to be okay, or something like that, you'll be okay. And I was kind of freaked out because my sisters weren't there, and I thought, wow, my mom's going to come home, and she's going to see this hospital bed here, and she's going to see the Hoyer and all the other stuff, and she's going to have to deal with this. And I didn't want my mom to have to deal with it. So, hey, I told you, you never know what I'm going to talk about when I do these videos. So I didn't want her to have to even confront that or deal with that. And I just called up the medical place and said, I want this bed out of here today. I want it out now. And I took all the medical supplies and I carried them out into the backyard and got them all lined up so they could pick them up. And all they had to do was come into the house, get the bed out of there, and pull the supplies out. And the good thing is, it was all done before my mom got back. I don't know where my sisters took my mom. They just wanted to get her out of there. And then it was kind of weird to me. I know they say that after somebody passes that you want a family member, you want somebody to be with the spouse. So, or whoever is the closest, so that they are not alone for a while. And it just freaked me out that I heard my sisters saying, all right, we've got to be with her for 2 weeks. She needs somebody there for 2 weeks, so they're planning a schedule on how they're going to be there. Who's going to be there, who's going to spend the night there, who's going to switch off, and what days they're going to be involved with this. And then after 2 weeks, that was it. It's like they disappeared. So, no, there's no anger or frustration in my voice as I talk about this. I'm just talking, rambling as this thing finishes. So they disappeared after that, and that was pretty much how it was. They were not involved at all, and I was involved in everything. From taking care of the paperwork, to transferring account names, to doing the banking, to doing the bills, to taking my mom to doctor's appointments, and making sure things were taken care of at the house, just everything. Everything and anything that needed to be done, I was dealing with. And the others that were talking about they needed to be there for those 2 weeks completely disappeared. It was kind of like, hey, we got to do this, and after it's over with, we're done. So, and then later on down the line, just to add a little bit more, we got to find out what is in the will and the trust and how we're going to handle all of that, so that we can do a proper ending when you're gone. We don't want to be there. We don't want to be around. We want nothing to do with anything. But we want to make sure that when you're not here, we can close everything out and take everything we can. And so, hey, deal with it while the person's alive. That's all I can tell you. If you are dealing with parents or somebody in your life that is going to be leaving a trust or a will or anything, I remember when my dad was alive, and he would say, "Let's have a family meeting. What do you guys want? Let's talk about it. These are the plans we have." And I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to talk about it. It's not here yet, and I just don't want to confront it, or I don't want to handle the emotional discussions. And later on down the line, boy, did I have questions that I needed to figure out the answers to on my own, which all of us end up dealing with. What are these bills for? Why are you writing these checks? How many checks do you write? what bill, where's the life insurance, is there life insurance, what life insurance policies, how do we transfer the names, how do we sell things, how do we sell off investments. So there's just a lot of stuff that, even if it's written down in the paperwork, which usually it isn't, or it just makes no sense to people. And on top of that, then you're dealing with family people saying, well, I want this, or they promised me this, or it's not written down, but I'm supposed to get this, or I'm taking this out of the house because this was supposed to be mine. Just a lot of stuff that goes on, a lot of nightmare stuff that really becomes a nightmare to deal with and tears families apart. And you get, if you have people out of town, somebody who's probably run into the house and grab or take everything they can, or the things they want, and then the person who's going to deal with this, like, where is everything? I don't know. I didn't take it. So all I can say with my advice from dealing with this stuff is we're at module 20. Oh, my God, 28. Take care of the stuff beforehand. Leave good notes. Leave documentation. I've got a life insurance policy. This is the number. This is how much it's for. And this is the company. This is the bank account. I have this many bank accounts. These are the bank account numbers. These are the names that are on the accounts. I have credit cards, this many credit cards. We all get through it if we don't have that documentation, because very few people do it. But believe me, when you're taking care of this stuff, it makes a big difference and it helps out a lot. So I'm watching the dog. Dog just came out of the hallway, walking into the kitchen to get some water. She's awesome, I'll tell you. I had a dog when I was a kid, and I'm going to look at some of the pictures. I'm going to grab the pictures that I've been avoiding because I don't want to deal with looking back on life and that part of my life. Good part of my life, but still emotional. You start looking at when you're a kid, you see your family and everything's happy, and the dogs, and just a whole different world from when you grow up. And I had the two dogs. One of them we adopted, or we bought it from a breeder. And the other one, somebody saw this dog running in the middle of the street, thought it was ours, brought it over. It wasn't ours. We took it over to a rescue place and said, if this dog isn't picked up in a short amount of time, we'll take it back, and we did. So I had to put both of those dogs down. Very depressing, sad time when they got older and sick. But I don't remember any of what I'm going through with this dog. This dog is a rescue, and like I said, she was surrendered at one of the worst kill shelters in Los Angeles, and she wasn't being picked up. So another place that rescues from rescue, and she's walking under the table. She's all interested in the video. She loves videos. And she's right at my feet. Now she's going in one of the beds while she's watching me. So I got her from that other rescue, and she was labeled, I think I mentioned before, I'm a little lady with no training and no manners. And in 3 months, that's what I've been working on. Waking up at 6 in the morning. I used to sleep in late, waking up at 6 in the morning, 6:30. When I first got her, I would hop in the shower, get ready, then get her outside for a walk, and I'd run her around. I'd be so sweaty, like I can't deal with this. During the summer, it was really hot out here. Well, what can I say? We're at December, and it was just 80. We just broke a record in Los Angeles, 104 degrees at LA Airport in October. So now I wake up, and I think she wakes me up, and I look at her, and she's just sitting there staring at me, and I don't know yet when she needs to go to the bathroom or what the signal is, except I think she's staring, and that might be it. So I just posted a video on how to train your dog with touch and use a belt with a ringer so that you can train them to ring it when they've got to go to the bathroom. But 6:30 in the morning, she's sitting there looking at me. I'd put the jeans on right away, brush my hair, get out there, and I walk her because she's got to go. And then I walk a few blocks. Thankfully, I haven't had her yet while it's raining, because this dog loves to walk all over the place, and she doesn't go for a walk to go. She goes for a walk because she wants to run around and eat leaves and dig dirt and pull and tug. So I've spent the 3 months waking up early, walking her, coming back, trying to feed her. Half the time she doesn't want to eat, putting her in the car. She doesn't want to settle down. And if you use a dog harness in your car, let me know. If you have a dog harness that really works, that you don't have to strap it on to the dog and frustrate them, but it's a secure thing that doesn't let them crawl out of the window, but doesn't let them fly out of the windshield either. And let me know if you want to leave that in a comment. So she's difficult on the car drives, and she's difficult on the walks, and Other than that, she's a lot of fun. I'm training her. I've spent a lot of money, a lot of time working on with training classes, and now every night I train her at home. And it's just going to take a lot of patience and repetitive, a lot of repeating to get this thing going. But she's learning, and I'm really proud of her, and I'm glad when she does what she does. And her personality's coming out now, which is kind of chewing on my hands, and when she wants me to play, she'll go, oh, play, here are the toys, and she's becoming more outspoken and more, she's communicating more. And I know a lot of trainers will say, no, you can't let her be in control, you've got to be in control. But I still want her to be a dog. I don't want her to, when I walk her, I don't want her to heel, I don't want her to stay at my side like some of these dogs that they walk perfectly. She's kind of growling, she wants my attention. These dogs that walk perfectly, they don't pull, and they just look so robotic. Now that's a nice thing because this dog pulls and it's difficult. So you've got the heeling dogs, and then you've got the dogs that are just loose leash, which is they don't pull on the leash, but you can give them some room, and that's kind of what I want. So what I've got is, okay, we're done with the update at 6:55, so we got 28, 38, 48, 58, we're almost 27 minutes. So I want her to be able to be a dog. I don't want her to be a robot. And there we go. What's the, wow, 28. Unbelievable. So that's like 16% battery power on this. It really dropped it down for an update. 16% battery power for less than 30 minutes of an update. So I'm trying to train her not to pull on the leash, which is really difficult because this dog lunges, and she's a little dog, she's 17 pounds, but she's got a pull on her, and she's stubborn, and she's a sweetheart though. So, all right, that's going to be my update. Let's go scroll down. Let's go see what we got here. Sorry if I rambled and bored everybody. I know most of you don't even listen to any of the stuff I say. You leave a lot of thumbs down, and what can I say? All right, so we've got Android 6.0.1, and that's how it's going to be. Marshmallow, no nougat, nougat, and no Oreo. This is it as far as BlackBerry is concerned. That's the official word. You got the model number over there. October, that's weird. October 5th is the security patch update. October 5th, this has just been so screwy because I just got this yesterday on October 26th. And I have a feeling this is not completely accurate because BlackBerry always puts out the update. Hold on. Got an email there. BlackBerry always puts out their updates on about the 5th, and they always used to send out the update by the 5th or the 6th. Now they're throwing out a lot of security things in the middle of the month, 25th, 26th, 27th. So I've got a feeling that on November 4th, November 5th, there's going to be an official update. I probably will get it on the 5th or the 6th, and I'll be doing another video update thing. So I don't know how much longer this is going to last because I don't even know what the security update is. Let's go scroll down over there. Build Adam George 280, AAG 280. This is a BlackBerry that was purchased directly from BlackBerry. And if you're in another country than the U.S., you might have a different update number, another build number. And if you're getting your builds from some of the carriers that don't do these security updates most of the time, then you might have a different build. But this is it's not the September 5th, even though it says it as it's an update after September 5th. So I'll be doing this as long as I can, boring people with rambling about my life and talking about what's going on. I would definitely love to get a Key 1 just to have it, to try it out. It's been out for so long, I can't really do a review on it because the phone's been out and everybody's used it, and putting out a review months after a phone comes out is kind of worthless, unless you just want to hear my opinion. But if anybody's got a Key 1 and they want to send it to me, I'll gladly take it. I will definitely take it and plug in my SIM card and see how the phone works. And maybe I can do some updates on that, or switch over, or have two phones, or who knows. So that's going to conclude my October update. If you like this and you got to the end of the video, please do a thumbs up, a subscribe, a like. That helps me out, helps out my channel. If you want to leave a donation to my channel, or to me, I guess, not my channel, ask for my PayPal info and I'll get it to you. If you want me to do a review of something, let me know. If I can get the product or get a hold of it or find it, I will try to do the update or do a review and let people know what I think of it. So that's going to be it. I'll see you maybe in a week if they come out with the early November update, and if not, maybe in the later update for November, if they just do a late security update at the end of the month. And sorry for all the rambling, and what are we at? I'll probably be back before Thanksgiving. So if you're in Canada, then you already had your Thanksgiving, I think, a couple weeks ago. You know why they have Thanksgiving in Canada at a different time than they do in the U.S.? Because they cannot produce enough turkeys. That's not right. It is so difficult to get that many turkeys into two different countries on the same date. So it's easier just to do it in Canada a month early. That's what I've been told. That could be wrong. Maybe these turkeys just don't like the month of November. So, hey, I'll be doing the update in November, right before the Thanksgiving. Yeah, that kind of reminds me to go back to my story, and then I'll shut up. When my dad was sick, and we were looking at Thanksgiving, we were talking about Thanksgiving, and would he be there around that time? And wow, just a really emotional time when my dad, he was not doing good, drifting in and out of the final time, and but his mind was alert enough that he got a hold of everyone and said, I want to have a family meeting. Very somber time, very rough. Want to have a family meeting, and he was in his bedroom, and we got him into the kitchen, sat around the table. I don't think anybody has heard this except the family. Sat around the table, and he just said, I want to go with dignity. Don't keep me going when it's my time. That's mainly what it was. I want to go with dignity. Don't keep me around and make me suffer or stay knocked out until it happens. So yeah, that was a rough time of the year. And so all of those thoughts play into my mind during this time of the year. Just the thoughts of the doctor and the appointments and the medication and the passing and the funeral and the rainy time and the somber ending of the year and being alone and just rough times. So, hey, I won't apologize for sharing that with everybody, because it's good to talk and get your thoughts out and communicate. When you do that, you don't have emotional or mental problems. People that hold their stuff in, whoa, they've got lots of problems, as we can see by what's going on in our society today. So I'll leave it at that. Good luck. See you in November. Happy October. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy end of the year. And talk to you soon. Just an update. I wanted to start the video with a picture of the dog. And so I got the video camera, and I saw her bed, and she chewed a hole in the bed. She's been chewing a hole in it, but she chewed this huge hole in the bed. And the filling, if they swallow it, it will stay on their stomach, and they don't digest it, and it's really dangerous. So I have a towel that I keep on the top of it, so she leaves it alone. And she pulled out some of the filling, and I walked over, and I saw what she did. And she got scared, and she went in the closet, because she knew that she did something bad. They say that when a dog does something bad, they don't know what they did unless you tell them immediately or catch them. They don't have a memory, so they don't remember what they did. And you're doing the reprimanding for you, not for the dog, because they won't know what's going on. But I showed her the bed, and she stayed in the closet, and then I walked over with the bed, and I pointed it to her, and she just stared at me. She didn't know what to do. She was scared, kind of nervous, like all dogs do, because they know they get caught doing something, but they don't know what. And then I held my hand out to her, and she didn't know what to do. Probably because when she was rescued, she was probably abused or tormented as a puppy. So I held my hand out to her, and then I pointed to the hole, and I said, you don't do this. You know better than this. I want you to be a good dog, and I'm working with you. Don't do this stuff. And this dog and I just have an incredible line of communication, how we get along. And she walked over towards me and then got in the bed and let me hug her, and then I kissed her on the snout and kissed her on the head and held her, and she just sat there and let me hold her. She knew something was wrong. Obviously, she didn't know what was wrong, but she wanted to be in the bed, and she wanted me to be there for her and to know that everything was okay. And I held her, and then I had her try to get her out of the bed, but she was scared and didn't know what to do, so I walked in the other room and gave her a minute to be on her own, and she walked in the room right next to me and sat down right at my feet. There you go. There she is, just sitting there making sure that I'm there for her and that I'm not mad at her. And what an incredible friendship we have together. She's just a great dog. And she just wants to be there next to me now to know that everything's okay. So, all right, that's the end of the video again. And if you don't have a rescue dog, or if you don't have a dog, get one. What an experience. As far as cats, if you have a cat and you love cats, cats are probably easier to take care of than a dog. This requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, but I love it. I'll do anything for her to make sure that she's happy. And you can tell she just wants to be there for me and to know that everything's good. So, all right.